What would be the hardest thing to explain to aliens about Earth? To tell them to like, subscribe and ring that bell. Your trip to Earth is sponsored by Raid, Shadow Legends, NordVPN, and Honey. That we carry around a device with basically all the knowledge in the world, and use it to kill time, and spy on each other. That there are 7,000 languages, even if they stared to learn all the oxymoron terms, and homonyms and slang. As they have entered orbit, very clearly seeing the Earth is round, it'll be hard to explain to them that some think the Earth is flat. People are just going to say things they have a hard time explaining, or something they personally believe is irrational about humans, and assume it would also be hard to explain to aliens. People like to assume aliens are hyper-rational super beings that have transcended all of our mistakes and attained enlightenment. For all we know, something we believe would be easy to explain would be nearly impossible to explain. What is the absolute easiest thing to explain to other people? Pick something we believe is self-explanatory or common sense. Chances are those are the things that would be most difficult to explain to an alien species. And assuming they share any kind of human moral system is a mistake. For all we know, trying to explain why we don't systematically kill everyone that commits any crime or deviation whatsoever would be incomprehensible to them. They might not have some utopian Star Trek morality system. They could just as easily be space Nazis that cherish their eugenics programs and zero-tolerance form of totalitarian government. I think another mistake we often make is seeing aliens as a single united and identical group. There are differences between humans and there is no reason to assume this is any different in aliens. Different individuals from the alien race will probably have differing goals, beliefs and levels of intelligence. So it probably wouldn't be hard to explain to them that some humans have fringe beliefs, because it's more than likely that some of them also have beliefs that the rest of their society views as bad or stupid. Also, the aliens probably wouldn't have their entire species united under one country or even have individual planets under a single government. Our first contact could be with some closed-off, isolationist country for only a few years later a group from another country to show up and have no idea who we are. It could even be some terrorist group that needs somewhere to set up their base. Nikocado avocado are truly the best of our species. How these humans are different than those humans. And how those humans are the same humans but no, actually different humans. We lick each other's booty holes sometimes. In the 90s. But like it was an insult. ASMR mukbang. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'd struggle to explain that to most people. How people cannot give an inch of a FCK to the problems that everybody is having. An inch of a FCK is all I have to give. How we park in the driveway and drive in the parkway. That it's considered bad taste to be high on the highway. I mean, come on officer, it's in the name. Why to and go don't rhyme. To and go. To or go. That there is a quite large group of people who believe the Earth is flat. The Earth is obviously a dinosaur. The Kardashians. Haha. Teach us about your civilization. Yeah, right. So, there's this family. M. And they're rich. The TV. Know what? FCK it. I'll teach you about quantum mechanics. Double quote. Why we kill each other instead of working together to success. Aliens that reach us likely have had the same thing in their history. They'll most like just go, yeah. We get it. Double quote. Why the word Bologna sounds like baloney. It's crazy how we all read both of them like baloney and read the word read like read just now. Why a certain percentage of human beings choose to believe YouTube videos, memes, and conspiracy theories, rather than science and facts. Why orange is a color and a fruit. For anyone wondering, the fruit came first. Before the introduction of citrus fruit, warm weather produce. Not native to England, the color, if referred to at all, was called yellow-red. Then when the orange became widely known, the color was named after the fruit. The same way the colors gold, silver, rose, sage, and turquoise. And others are named after the materials, not the other way around. But stuff is little taboo here. Iron probes are not the way to go about it. Humans think they're superior to one another just because they look different, despite the fact that we're all the same species. Whites find themselves superior to other whites. Asians find themselves superior to other Asians. Same as blacks, Latinos, etc. Been a problem since before history was ever written. It's not solely a color or look difference. It's a self-importance issue. But yes, the looking different doesn't help. That filthy Frank ate a human cake for fun. Tentacle hentai. Especially if they too have tentacles. Live hentai it is. How eating a slightly uncooked bat killed 500k plus people. And how large numbers of people, when presented with a method to help minimize the spread of the death-causing ailment, decided to not do it because they felt a tiny aspect of their largely theoretical liberty was more important than the health of the human race. It's normal to make choices that hurt a majority as long as it benefits you. Religion. That's very true. I'm surprised I'm not seeing religion as an answer more often. But yes. It would be hard to explain how some people believe in different higher beings and such. Why we think aliens have absolutely no concept of entertainment, education, and retarded government issues. They have all of those things. Porn, homework, and Trump are not going to be shockers to them. That we're destroying it and nobody cares. That Facebook reaction thingy is as far as we got. But I'm staying optimistic. Based on no reason at all. We're fully aware of the damage our actions are doing to the planet and know many simple steps we can take to massively reduce that damage. We just choose not to. Absolutely. It's mind-boggling. Probably which foods to eat warm, which to freeze and which to eat room temperature. And why do we have so many food-related machines? Preparing food is highly advanced alchemy when you think about it. Your kitchen is like a food lab. It even comes with a special lab coat. There and there. They're not that hard to understand. TikTok. Humans. Reddit. Some people are saying stuff that the aliens would definitely have to. How even though we play things called video games in which we simulate acts of extreme violence. I promise you most of us are pretty chill and don't actually want to do real acts of extreme violence. Even in a global pandemic, people still refuse to wear masks in public. Yes, I really do want to FCK your hole right now, and yes, it is our way to greet people. Why we kill our skin cells to look more attractive to people. Why there are so many different religions worshipping so many different gods. My Babylon 5 people know what I'm talking about. That we have the whole world to explore yet stay inside in our 10 feet square room and sit on our beds. Absolutely nothing. They're aliens. They've progressed to having interstellar travel. They've already seen it all. And then some. That we have a global pandemic going on. Killing thousands of people. Yet some world leaders are ignoring it. Suppressing the truth or more concerned about their wealth than the well-being of their people. Well, basically we don't know what the alien civilization is like, so we don't know what similarities and differences they have to ours. But I'm betting they're gonna want an explanation about all those movies where aliens come to Earth and then we kill them all. How people believe there is a man living in the sky, and it isn't them. Parents love their kids, and yet dismember their genitals. Circumcision? Well, that is a tradition, religion and cultural thing. They would probably have traditions as well. Earth would be easy to explain. Explaining humans would be far harder. Selfies with pouty lips. That the majority of people are absolute morons and somehow they end up in charge, rather than the people who know what they are doing. See how some people have darker skin? That's because that's where their ancestors lived thousands of years ago. The closer to the sun equator, the darker your skin got as protection from the harmful rays. Now for thousands of years, we have fought, killed and oppressed innocent people because of these minor differences. This reminds me of a tweet from Yahtzee Croshaw. Here's a fun game. Pretend you're an alien. Then try to figure out the function of toilet roll using only the information on the package. Double quote. We can make enough food for everyone, but we can't figure the motivation out to actually do it. Currency. We have paper, and sometimes metal, that we exchange for stuff and services. And depending on where you are, you have to use a certain kind of metal or paper. But don't worry. You can trade the metal or paper in for other kinds of metal or paper at the airport or bank if you need to. Almost everyone is living in a socially enforced lie based on lies and ignorant philosophies spanning thousands of years, and everyone is hiding their true selves from one another. Humans are space orcs. Dude. We breathe rocket fuel. Getting old is basically us being on fire forever. Our cells live long enough that within one lifespan we are going to experience mutations that will go on to kill us. And a shit ton of us voluntarily and aggressively consume even more poisons because the ones we have in the day-to-day aren't enough. Basically anything. What am I supposed to say to creatures that do not understand our languages? The fact that Queen Elizabeth is still alive. I tell them how it took us 112 years for us to go from the airplane to a starship with a spacer shuttle in the 1960s, but after that it was spacer shuttles that didn't work as planned, with one blowing up in our atmosphere, and they moved on to probes to gather info about space and a few rovers to explore a distant planet. I remember a story I heard years ago. Aliens come to Earth, contact humans, and set about learning about us as well as providing us with all sorts of wonderful new technology, including medical advancements, communications methods, and space travel. So, the alien scientists will come to Earth to learn about us, and Earth scientists will travel with the aliens to learn about them. One day, the scientists are explaining hunting to two aliens, and take them out to hunt ducks. At the pond, the scientists have to explain to the aliens that it's considered unsporting to shoot the ducks while they're sitting, but it's considered fair game if they're in flight. The alien responds, "How interesting. We have a similar philosophy." Double quote. That there are male humans who insert their penises into other males' anus purely for sexual pleasure. How we have managed to outbreed our planet's natural carrying capacity with no real plan to alleviate the problems that we are continuing to create by turning once lush and diverse biomes into monoculture nightmares. We elected the businessman that has lost the most money in our history to lead the most powerful economy on the planet. Why we kill each other over silly things like skin color or imaginary country borders. If they don't have eyes and think we're different to one another from something else than our appearance, like they judge us on our dopamine concentration or something, explaining that those two humans that they perceive as the same are actually a 95 Chinese grandmother and a 8-year-old Algerian child. In the US. So, we have the ability to save people's lives when they are hurting. But depending on which club they are a part of, doing so will either be free or cost them so much money that they will basically starve to death from being poor. Oh. And you can only join the club at certain times. And the club is really expensive. Also, the club works against you to avoid paying for things. Porn. Why TikTok exists and is still legal in most countries. Woman. Why we fucking hate each other so much. Just gonna repeat the last comment I read in another thread. Donating to Kylie Jenner to make her a billionaire. Imaging explaining. Grass. I mean, think about it. We cultivate these tiny blades of green and try to cover our little section of earth with it. We care for it. We water it. We groom it. We want it everywhere if possible. There are even a variety of different types. They'll probably think it controls us, not the other way around. Plus, don't get me started on the fact that grass can also mean something else that can cause psychedelic effects. Now that will throw a dizzy at them. We have taken humans to the moon. We have sent probes farther than our star's gravity. We have fully simulated and modeled perfect n-body astrophysics. Any yet. Some people think the Earth is flat on the general basis they can't see the curvature from the ground level. I feel like our need for art and creativity is probably not super common among more advanced civilizations. At some point practicality needs to take priority in order to keep up with technology. People killing other people. People robbing other people. People taking advantage of other people. People gossiping about other people. People lying to other people. People belittling other people. So much baffles me about people. I can only imagine what aliens would think. How scientific fact can be 100% proven, yet totally subject to belief. Looking at you. COVID mask and COVID vaccine conspiracy theorists. Give them all the films to watch about alien invasions. Then tell them to focus their screens on America and watch the new film 2020. In which a retarded orange maniacal despot tries to kill his own people via chemical warfare and a new subspecies called Karen. That I had access to the largest library of all our history and known knowledge of this planet in my back pocket and I used it to look up memes and funny animal videos instead. How a virus on one side of the planet caused a toilet paper shortage on the other side of the planet. How humans want peace but won't stop fighting or killing. How humans want equality but keep treating anyone who is different unfairly. And how humans want prosperity but won't help poor people. The aliens would find this so illogical they'd kill us all in a split second. Jersey Shore. Why a picture with some random text is one of the funniest things on the internet. Taxes, and how they choose to spend them, politics.